Brett Butler had an extraordinary climb to the top. A tough childhood, an absent father, an abusive husband, and 12 years on the stand-up circuit. She's now star and executive producer of her own top-rated sitcom, Grace Under Fire. She has written her memoirs called Knee Deep in Paradise, and we are pleased to have her back here at this table. Welcome back.
Hey there, thank you.
How's your mom?
She's great.
She's
thanks.
moving out of Atlanta, though. But
she's
not going to be there when the Olympics come.
When they had the centennial for the Statue of Liberty, when my husband and I lived in New York, we got out and just gave our apartment to friends. We flee the madding crowds. Yes, we leave them.
Look at this photograph at the back. Now, where is this from?
That's the steps of the house in Tuskegee that was in my family for a long time. That's the house right there is where the parlor where my father was born, in a cloud of ether and his mother's perfume.
Carolyn C. said, "This is not a celebrity autobiography of the kind we've been taught to expect. Instead, Brett Butler's thoughtful memoir presents us with an authentic, literate Southern voice that recalls Mark Twain, witty but melancholic, colloquial but profound." Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Right.
I had to buy her a pony for that.
The last time you were here, you didn't know what title you would put. We talked a little bit about this.
It was tough. Coming up with one.
Why Knee Deep in Paradise?
I liked Paradise. Actually, the first one I thought of that I really wanted was Letters from Paradise, and I thought that was pretentious, even by my standards. And Knee Deep is the counterpoint to that. Knee Deep, Paradise, they're kind of funny together, or not. But.
And then you quote Maya Angelou, "My life has been one great big joke, a dance that walked, a song that spoke. Sometimes I laugh
until I choke when I think about myself." Is that juicy? She also has another great quote I wanted to put in there, which is, I don't know if I can say this on your show. It's,
that's all right.
"I make more money by accident than most bitches make on purpose." And I love that line. It's out of one of her dialogues in her stories.
There is something of your enormous success now that is especially satisfying you because of your former husband. Is it?
Because
well, just that you enjoy him knowing that, by God, it turned all right for you?
No, it's not.
That's
just
not fair
that.
To say.
No, I really wouldn't. I could not enjoy anything good in my life if I actually got off on resentment, so to speak. No, I'm glad that I survived, but for me, and I actually, forgiveness is real important to me. Yeah. And forgiving me is important to me, and other people forgiving me and me, him, and that kind of thing. I'm past that point. If I did feel it, it was in the beginning, and God will sure mow you down when you have too much of that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I misunderstood that because I thought I'd read somewhere that you had sort of said that you had this opportunity in stand-up.
That might have been, like I say, in the very beginning. Okay.
To get a lot of stuff out.
Okay, like Phyllis Diller did with Fang. I in no way painted it as darkly as my life was. I just needed to do that to get the jokes out. But this is, 14 years since I started doing comedy, and of course I like to think we've all moved past that, and I'm much bigger than that now. Honestly, You
were executive producer of your own series.
Yeah, but there's like 30 of them.
30 executive producers.
Yeah,
we got a lot of people down there that have titles.
I'm also the only stand-up comedian who has a show who is in no way credited with the creation of the series in any way, based on or anything like that, and that should have happened in the beginning. So I think they gave me the executive producer title earlier than most people get them to make up for that in some way.
When this ends, whenever you decide to walk away from it, 3 more years?
3 years of the show. That's all I'm contracted for.
History.
And I'm done.
Why?
I think 6 years of situation comedy is enough. I have a hunch the kids won't be cute after then too. I want to be done. That's a long time for a job. It's already kind of, I'm trying to think of ways to make it alive and new and
Well, it's part of what you're doing now, looking for what's next, in part in your own head.
Yeah, I started to outline a second book, but let myself rest for a little bit too, like this summer, not jump into a movie for its own sake. I'd like to write a movie. I had a good idea for one, so maybe I could write that, because when you write a movie, you don't have to go on a book tour.
Just put it on the screen and let it go.
Let other people do it.
Well, is a book tour bad for you? What don't you like about it?
Maybe it's just the delayed reaction I had in writing the book. It was a satisfying and an immensely surprising thing when I finished writing this book. I could not believe it. I've been writing since I was 8 years old, and I've been a dilettante in good and bad ways. And my grandfather, 3 of my grandparents are alive, and my mom's dad is one of them, and he's so wonderful. He says, for a long time, well, Sugar, I just think before I was famous, I think it's real important that you write for the sake of posterity, and this other stuff's ephemeral. I understand you're good at it, and it was a very accepting thing, but he just made me keep in touch with whatever intellectual momentum I had. And I just sent him the book last week, and I got to call him. I got to stop being such a chicken, see what he thinks.
What's been hardest for you in writing this?
Writing the book?
What were the memories that came to the front that were
Probably,
hardest?
honest to God, that marriage, that first marriage.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard. I had to stop writing it and go and sit with my husband and just sit there, and he wouldn't say a word. He'd know what was up. He just put his arm around me, and we watched golf on TV until it went away.
What happens when you write memoirs? I mean, you just, everything, every feeling, every hurt, every joy.
Mm-hmm. And
so
this will sound, there's no way I can say this where it'll make sense, but I imagine you've heard it before from where you're sitting. I did not write this book alone. I felt like something, Shirley MacLaine would say, my crown chakra opened up, and some better spirit, one with a better, broader view than I'm capable of having, helped me write this book and make peace with a lot of stuff. You know, it's really hard to do in a way that's, you know, as objective as possible, and you still have some of the passion in it. I turned it in 7 months early, and I'm glad, because I might have started taking things out of it.
Good for you.
You know, I would have started just nipping and tucking and going, well, I don't need to tell people that or that, and it's, sometimes I'd write it and go, wow, that was a really good sentence, or that was a good page, and I'm just really grateful for that. Like, something after all these years of reading and trying to write paid off.
What do you want people to get out of it, you know, other than your story? I mean,
Well,
how do they connect with your story, or what is it about your story you want them to connect with?
I'm uneasy with the mantle of folk hero, which is occasionally bestowed upon me, you know, because I'm an inspiring woman. That's okay, but what if I could ask anybody to, you know, if I could pick the way I inspire people, it is this. We live in such a teeming, huge, technologically advanced society. It would be to go, look, you have something very original and creative and artistic and loving and fantastic in you that you reach and grab hold of, almost in spite of the expectations of others or in spite of your mistakes. So grab hold of it. Just, you know, shake it at the world a little bit, because, you know, everybody's just trying to be the same, look the same, act the same, and, you know, maybe they can just come out. I mean, people go, well, oh, you had a hard life, and I just watched Leaving Las Vegas, and I think Elizabeth Shue in Leaving Las Vegas had a hard life. Yeah, you know, I didn't.
You're just seeing that film now?
Yeah, I really wait. I never see things right when they first come out.
Do you go to the theater, or do you wait? You don't. You was in the screenings, or you wait for the cassette in a hotel?
I'm in a hotel, and I watch Spectrovision. Yeah.
Is it a great life now?
Yeah, but not because of this. Fame leaves me wanting less, frankly. That's why 3 more years of that.
Fame leaves you wanting less fame.
Yeah, but my joys are basically the same as they were before.
Making people laugh.
Yeah, I enjoy that very much. I love acting. I love writing. My painting has gotten better. I like to paint. I like to buy art supplies and use them. And I read and learn things, and I have some, I'm saying it last, but certainly not least, I have some really fun friends and some supportive, wonderful people. I'm really glad. I know a lot of people that wait until they get what I've got to be happy. And boy, are you in trouble if you do that. You know.
I think we may have talked about this before, but when we talked about finding your father,
yeah.
How hard was that, or how would you characterize that?
It's been a wonderful journey. I mean, I didn't see, just real briefly, it's in the book, and that's basically what it's about, but the journey is, I didn't see him after I was 4. We were 4, 3, and 2. My mother moved us away, and preventative measures. I do believe he may have, you know, hurt us emotionally or some other way, you know, like he did her. Took us away. He passed away when I was 21. When I was 31, I basically acquired his books. But there was that time when I was 16, I knew he was in the house, in his mother's house behind the door, and wouldn't come out. But I believe it's possible, I know it's possible, to have very important relationships change posthumously. You know, my relationship with him is one of just, you know, acceptance and forgiveness and gratitude.
And how did you come to that?
I've been working on it since I was about 20 years old, and maybe even before that, and it's meant a lot to me. I'm grateful for what I got from both my parents, the support and nurturing I got from my mother, and the kind of crazy genes I got from my dad. You know, it all, I'm who I am, and what is it somebody said, you're happy if you want what you have and not what you're thinking about.
Yeah. My guess is humor's helped you, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it gave you a kind of defensive, it gave you a...
I have a dark Irish Southern sense of humor. My husband's Jewish, so nothing in our house is verboten about laughing at. Yeah, it really did, and I come from people that really treasure the darker side of jokes, especially about ourselves. I come from women who were very funny, self-deprecating, but still in a powerful way, powerful mode, and women just called it like they saw it in this inimitable Southern way, just, you know, well, sugar, let me tell you about that. You know, and they do it, and I loved it. And the men in my family didn't bat an eye at women who said what they thought and meant it. Yeah.
Strong women.
So humor comes right out of that. I remember one time me and my little sisters were watching Heidi with my stepdad. And I was like 12 and they were 11 and 10, and we were making fun of Heidi. I mean, really making fun of Heidi, like not watching it like little girls ought to watch Heidi. And oh, isn't Heidi cute? We were going, oh, you know, push her out of the chair. And we were just doing this really mean stuff. And I remember my stepfather looking at us like, what bizarre children. But it saved us.
Let me take a look at this. This is a clip from Grace Under Fire, in which this is the tag, "Take Me to Your Breeder." This is when you meet Darren McGavin, who plays your dad in a UFO. Set it up for me. Is there anything else I need to say?
That's when I meet him.
That's what it says here, but I don't know.
I think it ought to be, I don't know quite the clip, but I think it ought to be self-explanatory when you see it.
Okay,
it's
take
Grace.
a look at this. Grace Under Fire.
Went on home.
What is it about thinking of you and Seinfeld and Cosby and so many others that have had very, very, very successful sitcoms? I mean, what is it about stand-up that makes you, and Roseanne, not to forget?
I know, she's, you know, probably the it's funny, those are the people that obviously were doing it before me, and Tim and Paul Reiser, and somewhere down the line they get seen and people go, well, gee, they have an original point of view, and that could be captivating, and let's throw them in a show.
Let's find a character that somehow captures that.
Change my name and throw 3 kids on me and do that, and then you have to really go to war with the people that would dilute or change that excessively and then take away, like the first season, the first few shows, they kept going, now do it and smile all the time, and da-da-da. So you have to do that, and once you get through that blender, you know, hopefully it'll make its mark. Yeah.
But so you, I mean, that's why you feel, in a sense, that this Grace Under Fire is you, is your show, is your, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, it is. It's a real star-driven kind of show. That's just the way it is. I mean, I have enormously talented and supportive co-stars on that show, but it's, my character doesn't even have, I call it the luxury of a husband. Like Roseanne's got John Goodman, and they're such a great yin and yang. Her power can be even more immense because she has him there to temper it. And in my case, they go, just because she's not even married, people think she's tough on guys, which is absurd. It's just the easy route to, you know, for people to assume.
What do Carsey and Warner bring to this mix?
Oh, gosh, such, Tom and Marcy, the thing, other than, you know, giving me a break and an incredible job and being such believers in me and supporters of me personally, they care about me personally, which means a lot to me. They have taught me more about the high road in this business. I was on my own for 14 years. I booked myself, I played myself, I go up on stage, I wrote my own jokes, I did everything alone, I flew alone, I did all this, and now there's 200 people it takes to make this show. And there's people that have strong ideas, and they're writers, and I would watch them early on in meetings when someone was being ridiculous, and they could say, hey, bite me, I signed the checks. And they didn't. They just sort of pushed it aside and went, how do we fix this? Yeah. And I watched this pointed, and I guess I'm trying to say that they've been great personal examples for me. And they told me in the beginning, honey, at the end of 6 or 7 years, it's going to be the 3 of us. We're going to watch writers come and go. Everybody else is going to come and go. It's us. And I'm glad they said that to me, because it's a good thing to remember on a hard day.
What do you mean?
I just mean, you know, the struggles that are necessary to put out a show that has quality and that lacks excessive scatology and sophomoric references or things that are tried or something like that. And if anything, I'm at fault with having too message-heavy a show. But as sitcoms go, I wouldn't trade mine for most of them.
What's the message?
They've been a lot of them. I just have always maintained. I heard Marcy say this once. She said, she was talking to a writer. He didn't want to change a part of the story because he goes, oh, we'll lose that great joke. And Marcy said, if you tell the story, the jokes will fall on top of it. And that was a direct link with my childhood, with things that were not supposed to be funny. And then if you tell them, like there was one show I really wanted to do about a kid in the neighborhood whose mother was depressed and dysfunctional. And to make it real and not tie a bow on it or end it. There was another show I wanted to do, it actually took 3 years to do, about racism and the other sides of it. And I've always wanted to do that. I mean, somebody actually said, well, they did that on All in the Family. And I said, oh, well, now that racism's gone, why didn't you tell me? You know, where you do that, and it's really funny. Things that make people hurt or uncomfortable or embarrassed often are great for jokes. And then other people, thank God, Tom and Marcy have to remind me that there has to be meringue on that pie, too.
Boy, it's great to have that. I mean, you know, it's a little bit, I did a program the other day, about a month ago, with Ted Koppel, in a very different way, who has an executive producer now who makes his life significantly better. I mean, and he talked about it replenishing his appetite, you know, to do the program. If you have a support system that enables you to be free, in a sense, it can make all the difference in the world in the way you do it, and give you both the, you know, and it gives you the freedom to be as good as you can be.
And they've seen every tornado there is. I mean, you got to look at whose shows they produce too. Roseanne, Bill
Cosby.
And they're not scared of power, talent, and opinions in close quarters.
Are they unique? I mean, how many people are there like that out there?
I think they're really, you know, it's almost like, you know, with the monoliths buying everything up. You know, Disney basically owns everything about me, including the book. You know, you know, I want to call them the mom. Hell yeah, I carry. You know, the mom and pop people that are just really holding their own camp, and now they have like 7 or 8 shows they're doing now, and they struggle to have original and innovative and funny, visceral things on the air in what is increasingly becoming a bland medium.
What do you worry about?
Oh.
With
taking things too seriously, things too seriously. The hologram of fame and how disconcerting it is and annoying it is. I wish I were impossible, you know, to be. I just get, believe it or not, I get really pissed off when I get lied about or misunderstood, and even things like jealous. You know, it doesn't work if I go, okay, somebody's just jealous, or I'm in the news, or in the lesser media, let's call it, is annoying and chafing and unfair. Nobody has a whole picture.
The tabloid's fascination with personality.
Well, yeah, it's a cult of personality for a long time. Of course, for a long time, and I guess that is hand in hand in America. See, I can't take it personally with the decreased manners and decreasing morality and things like that. I'm getting to be God, kind of a little prude in my old age, I suppose.
I was just going to say, I mean, you know, Miss Manners comes forward.
I believe everything in Dan Quayle's book. He's right, damn it. Nuclear family's exploded, and I'm all upset about it.
But if they took the show away from you today and said, no more, nobody likes it,
can I tell you how happy that would make me?
It's over, Fred.
I'd be fine. Oh, God, would I be happy.
You would?
Yeah, I really would be.
Why would you
I'm
be
ready to move
happy?
on, because I've had this job for 3 years, and I'm really ready to move on.
So you're just doing it for the money now?
I'm doing it because I'm contracted to.
Really?
Yeah.
You have... But see, that's terrible to hear. That
it's not, and I'll show up and I'm cheerful at work and I do a good job and I'll bust my butt. A lot of people are doing jobs.
I know you would, but it's you are not. You don't do it as a labor of love. You do it because
I do. I keep my attitude good, and if I didn't do things like write this book and try to work on other writing and try to be a better actor, on the other hand, I'm still increasing my knowledge in this world, and that keeps me happy. If I were a waitress in Tucson, still doing bad stand-up comedy 2 nights a week and serving chicken fried steaks, I'd still be increasing my knowledge, and that's what I'm here for. And I've got a husband that'd pack up tomorrow and go with me, too. And that is like freedom, just knowing that if I said, honey, I want to quit, and they're going to let me, can we go? He'd say, I'll pack. I'll carry the suitcase. And that's freedom. So I can do it for 3 more years.
Good man, huh?
The best. Yeah. He even read the book.
Did he?
It's still there.
There's a man. Write a book and he'll read it. Knee Deep in Paradise, Brett Butler. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
My pleasure. Great to see you. We'll be right back. Stay with us.